Hello everyone! What's up? It's your girl Jasmine coming at you live. My outfit doesn't make any sense, but that's the point, right? That's the point. Much to talk about, much to discuss. Hello, thank you for joining. I have several things to say. First of all, I'm about to start just meme dumping on this account because I know that I have a meme curator deep within me and she needs an outlet, and I've realized that this is a safe space for that. So I'm going to start meme dumping with the moons. Thank you for joining. If you're live or watching this replay, I'm here to talk about the full moon in Leo and Venus in Pisces, but first and foremost, myself. Here's why. I was born on this full moon in Aquarius, in Leo, during Aquarius season. And my birthday this year, and thank you so much, Queen should only, supportive always. My birthday this month, or this year in February, the 5th of February, falls on the full moon that I was born on, which is the Leo full moon, which we'll talk about. But also, I natally have a Venus in Pisces, and Venus will be in Pisces as well. So will I ascend? Will I begin to levitate? Who's to say? Who knows? But I'm going to talk about what it means for you guys to be invited into my inner world this season, okay? The energy is going to feel like what it's like in my mind, and that's scary, and that's jarring for some of you, and I get that, and that's your right to be afraid, but there's a lot to be excited about with the astrology coming up and how to work with it, so we're going to talk about it. The first thing I'm going to say is that I hope you are feeling good, or as well as you possibly can be, because I know that January, at least the first half of it, the thick of it, was not the easiest cosmic weather. But I will say that new moon in Aquarius really was this catalyst for breakthroughs, for big realizations, but ultimately for shifting the tides and really taking ownership of our lives and our mental state of well-being back. So I hope that there was some nectar in that new moon. And it's gorgeous because any realizations that came or any blessings that came with that new moon are going to kind of be put into action with this full moon. So I'll talk about what that means and why. But before I even get into the moon, I want to talk about Venus. Venus and Pisces, babe. So obviously we know Venus is the planet that rules love, how we relate to each other, just communally, romantically, platonically, professionally, just how we experience with our senses. And when it's in the sign of Pisces, it's exalted, which means that like Venus could not be happier to be in the sign of Pisces. And how this is going to manifest on for us is really this like renaissance relative to our relationship with love, with the arts, with nature, coming back into what it means to be in that Pisces energy from our heart space, which is just being boundless and very limitless and very unconditional when it comes to how we love. If you have any limitations surrounding how you express love, your relationship with your own sensitivity, that's going to be so largely challenged, and like, thank God. So it's even very much like Bell Hooks' All About Love. I don't know if you've read that, but if you haven't, I would definitely invite you to. But it really is this introduction of, hi, thank you for joining. Don't think that I'm not going to text you back, because I just saw your text this morning and I was like, I need to address this immediately. But I'm so happy you were joining. But what's so beautiful about this is that in this catharsis, in this renaissance of, I actually feel secure enough to tell people that I love them fully and not have to hide behind being the cool girl or like limiting how much of me I feel comfortable giving. You give yourself permission to be who you are, or who we are when we are outside of like the conditioning of society that says that we need to survive and that we need to be fearful of what it means to love fully, and that you can be led by your heart and not need to be in fear of rejection, but rather brave enough to know you'll survive the rejection anyway if it is at the risk of experiencing deeper love. So that can be a macro thing that can be very literal. You can be in a romantic situation that kind of deepens, but also just like falling in deeper love with yourself, with your friends, with your siblings, with nature, with animals, with art. I would really use this transit to like just deepen your sense of like creativity, right? Like every time Venus is in Pisces, I'm always like, I'm going to write as much poetry as possible. I'm going to write a song. I'm going to spend as much time at the beach or in nature as possible. I'm really just going to come back to what it means to nourish my heart and to be heart-led. And so just know that as Venus moves into Pisces tomorrow, the 26th, there's going to be that shift in collective energy of like what it means to just love fully and to confront any edges that you have surrounding your capacity to love, and to confront them with grace, knowing that they're sort of societally imposed, but to ultimately supersede them, and to tell that person that you've been crushing on, like, I've been crushing on you, or tell your mom, like, I know I've been very irritable lately, but like, I love you and I love everything that you've done for me. Just like really be in that heart forward space with healthy boundaries, but without unnecessary precaution that closes you, if that makes sense. But what's also, like I kind of already touched on, really beautiful about this transit is that it is an introduction for us to deepen our sense of creativity. Pisces and Venus in Pisces is all about art and like loving art. So yes, indulge and engage in art, watch movies, read books, go to museums, really reintroduce yourself to art, but most importantly, create. So however you create, however you show up expressively, commit to that. But also, like, if there are new avenues of creative expression that you haven't touched or embarked on, that you've kind of been curious about, now's the time, babe. Now's the time to like enroll in that improv class. Like, it's more Aries, but like, just to do something that challenges your voice in a new kind of way, but ultimately will deepen your sense of wonder and childlike enamorment for the world. So yes, confront if there's any embarrassment or shame surrounding loving and being loved. If there are any fears surrounding loving and being loved, especially if like love for you is just something that is, foreign, something that's scorned you before, something that you have kind of done the wrong way. And what I mean by that is if you know what the fullness and like you have a clear vision of what kind of love you want in your life, and yet you have been settling or accepting something different because you were told that love is supposed to be smaller and more condensed and more realistic. Now is the time to come into the knowing of, I deserve the fullest version of intimacy. And if I have any fear surrounding that, I have to confront that within myself first, externally second, but ultimately to be brave enough to say out loud how largely you have the capacity to love and how much you deserve to have that reciprocated. I hope that makes sense. I'm speaking very convolutedly, which is very much Pisces, Venus energy anyway. But yes, use this as an invitation to deepen your creative landscape, try new things, try new avenues of expression, write a song, a poem, reconvene with nature in a new way. And really confront your relationship with labeling yourself as an artist. I personally have, like, within the last week or two, gotten comfortable and confronted why there was discomfort around calling myself a writer. And like, all I do is write, but like I've never felt confident enough to call myself a writer, and really recognizing where that stems from, but ultimately reintroducing myself to who I am as a writer and standing in that and letting myself write without, a filter to critique myself through, was just really important. And so if there's any label or artistic label that you haven't felt worthy enough of housing yourself under, now is the time to really stampede your way through that and to say yes to yourself. And what's beautiful about it is that as we sort of come into these realizations, they kind of started with the new moon in Aquarius, but really with this Venus in Pisces. The full moon in Leo, which will be on the 5th of February, my birthday, I can't stress it enough, is going to be the time to put action into living in the fullness of your power once you do reintroduce yourself to the version of you that loves fully, that creates boundlessly, that is enamored by the small things. One thing about Venus and Pisces is that they find beauty and romance in the very minuscule things. They find it in breakfast, they find it in songs, they find it in the breeze, they find wealth anywhere that wealth asks to be seen. And so this full moon in Leo is really this reintroduction to who you are when you are just excited to be alive and when you live life through that energy. And the reason why I posted the journaling prompt that I posted today, which if you hadn't seen it, it is girl, not me forgetting. Oh, just what have you not allowed yourself to celebrate? And the reason why I would really invite you to journal on that is because this is a really, really beneficial, I think the word's benevolent. It's a great full moon because there's no retrogrades going on right now. It's not harshly aspected. It's in the sign of Leo, which is all about that solar energy of solar plexus and empowerment and living in the fullness of our confidence. And there is this energy of celebration, right? And recognizing the fact that it's important to look at your relationship with celebrating, particularly when it comes to celebrating yourself. Are there accomplishments? Are there big moments? Are there things in your life that you haven't given yourself permission to celebrate? And why? Is it because, as I sat with this, I recognize the fact that I'm weary about celebrating things because I feel like it makes it real and then it makes it something that someone can take away. Like if I tell people about the good thing in my life, it's more, there's a word that I'm looking for. It's more vulnerable to just not working out, or I'll be embarrassed if it falls through or if it, goes away. So I say all that to say, look at what you haven't been brave enough to celebrate, even if it's for yourself, even if you don't want to tell anybody else and you just want to throw yourself your own party for an accomplishment or something like that. If there's any resistance there, meet that resistance with curiosity and ask yourself, how come I haven't been proud of myself for this accomplishment? Is it because I think I need to accomplish more? I haven't hit the accomplishment threshold enough in order to celebrate? Do I find myself worthy or deserving of this thing that I've accomplished? Really recognize where you're hitting edges around celebration. Meet them with compassion, but ultimately supersede them and throw yourself whatever throwing yourself a party looks like. So if that means literally throwing yourself a party, go off. But if it means just like buying yourself a treat or writing about it or telling someone about it or talking to God about it or just holding yourself through the fact that like, I did that. I got myself this far. So I did this exercise on the new moon in Aquarius, so I'm definitely going to do it again. I just wrote down all of the things that I am so proud of myself and what I celebrate about my life that I know is a product of me showing up for myself. And that means the relationships that I've cultivated, the career accomplishments, the places that I've been, but also just like the fact that I'm able-bodied and that I choose that blessing as an avenue for movement and for exploration, and that I get to eat foods that are so delicious. Like just really being in celebration of life, how much of it you've cultivated, how much of it you have gifted yourself and shown up for, but ultimately how much of it just surrounds you and how grateful you are that you get to have the eyes, the ears, and the sense of touch in order to experience it. So yeah, are you a safe space to be your own cheerleader? If you have any resistance around celebrating yourself, how can the world celebrate you, right? You really want to be the love that you desire. So celebrate yourself out loud if you can. If you have enough confidence to celebrate yourself, I want everyone to just go on their Instagram stories and just be braggadocious as fuck about everything that they've done for themselves. And this can be big career accomplishments, but this can also be, I survived 2022 and 2021 and 2020. I got this far. I woke up this morning. I'm still saying yes to myself. How can you understand that there is no differentiation between the micro and the macro when it comes to self-celebration? It is just as important that you woke up today and that you decided to keep moving as it is that big goal that you overcame, or whatever tangible evidence that you have of being fertile and having any sort of output. So yeah, like I said, in summary, review your conditioning around celebration, come back to a place of boundless and unconditional creativity and self-expression. If you have limitations surrounding your capacity to love, the kind of love that you accept, really bulldoze over that. And like I said, use this as an invitation to deepen your creative landscape. Look at new ways that you can express yourself. Like I said, I've been writing a lot, but I was like, you know what? As a kid, I used to enjoy writing songs because I thought that I was going to be Pharrell Williams. So maybe I'll just write songs for the sake of writing a song because we have the ability to do so. So that is a summary. Otherwise, I hope that you enjoy this cosmic weather. We really deserve it. We are moving closer towards March, which is when really things are going to pick up and there's going to be a lot of change. And we're going to see and feel and experience that change very viscerally and tangibly. So just bask in how relatively it's easier to navigate these waters. So thank you. I'm sending you all my love, and I will see you for the next transit, darling.